I find the greatest sense of joy is helping people get out of a precarious financial situation into something they never thought possible.
Joy is not just a reward or an outcome. Like, hey, once we get to this, once we get to debt free, once we get to a savings account, then we can be joyful. But it's really about being intentional with joy, like leading with joy, working with joy, living with joy.
But this business, it's like your job is to help people. How cool is that, right? You're able to take care of your family by helping others. Like, it's can't get any better than that for a job, I think, anyways. Changes everything about you. It's not waiting on somebody else to do it. And nobody else is going to be responsible for your joy in life. You have to do that.
Welcome to JOY², Live with Joy. This is the podcast where we get to explore the power of joy, purpose, passion, and fun, and how joy, when practiced intentionally, transforms how we live, work, and lead. I'm your host, Greg D. Koker, and I believe that when you live with joy, everything gets better, and I mean everything. And this isn't just about feeling good. It's about unlocking joy as a resource, one that fuels better leadership, meaningful work, and thriving lives. Each week, we share the stories, the insights, and the sparks that ignite more joy, because joy is contagious, it's powerful, and it belongs to all of us. So lean in, stay curious, and let's create more joy together. This is JOY², brought to you by Essentia Group. Welcome to the JOY² Live with Joy podcast, where we explore the hidden power of joy in leadership, work, and life. I'm your host, Greg D. Koker, and today's conversation is going to feel like building something that lasts. Today, I'm joined by someone who, from the moment we met, just felt solid, grounded, real, and authentic. So I met Ian Barnett, our guest today, when I presented at the Mortgage Coach Summer Kickoff on how to build your brand in a highly competitive market. And after the session, Ian approached me with some very thoughtful questions, not just surface level stuff. Like, he was engaged and he was curious, and it was refreshing. And what struck me wasn't just what he asked, it was how he showed up, which was very relaxed, very calm. He was, truly, genuinely interested in me, not trying to be interesting and making it about him. It wasn't about him self-promoting or anything like that. And every time we've connected since, it's been the same. Like, Ian always asks, like, hey, how can I support you? Who can I introduce you to? And he's introduced me to some great people. So he kind of comes into every conversation with out of service, really. It's not like, what can you do for me today, Greg? And I hope I've provided value too as well along
Absolutely.
the way.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm saying you're not like that, but I never said I'm not like that. Oh, it's awesome. But you Ian plays the long game of relationships, which is really special. And you can just kind of, I could tell, like, from the moment, like, I could tell just even before we met, you just have this like calming presence. And I'm like, oh, I need more of that. I'm like Ian's the nicest guy in the room. And I'm like, I'm just like Ian, except maybe with an edge. And I'm like, how do I kind of tap into that calmness and that groundedness when I'm not feeling, totally relaxed and all that? So we'll probably dive into that a little today.
Cool.
And then before
Yeah.
we kind of start, with our conversation, I just want to share a little bit more about Ian and what he's been up to. So with a foundation in engineering and project management, Ian brings a uniquely analytical and structured approach to his work as a financial advisor. His career began in highly technical, precision-driven environments where data, risk assessment, and long-term planning were critical to success. Today, Ian applies that same discipline and strategic thinking to helping clients build, protect, and optimize their wealth at his company, IMB Financial. In his financial advisory practice, those skills translate directly into value for his clients. Ian approaches financial planning like a well-designed blueprint, structured, stress-tested, and built for long-term durability. He breaks down complex financial concepts into clear, actionable strategies, ensuring clients feel informed and confident in their decision. His background in managing multi-million-dollar projects enables him to guide clients through significant financial transitions, particularly business succession, agribusiness, estate, and legacy. Known for his methodical mindset and calm, solution-oriented leadership, Ian combines technical rigor with a personal commitment to understanding each client's priorities. Ian believes that financial success is not about guesswork, it's about disciplined planning, measured execution, and ongoing refinement. By merging engineering precision with financial insight, Ian offers clients more than advice. He provides a structured path toward lasting financial confidence. Ian, that all sounds amazing, and welcome
Yes.
to the JOY² podcast. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So I thought we would just kind of dive into, the first question and begin our conversation.
Sounds
So,
good. Let's
and
go.
that is, I know how busy you are with everything you're building in your business and your life, and I just love to kind of find out why you said yes to getting involved in this podcast as a founding sponsor. So not just as a guest.
Well, as you mentioned, kind of in that ridiculously long bio that, that you read, um, I do look for ways to be able to help people, especially people I've met like yourself. We connected really well, and it's like, okay, so far it's been more of you providing stuff, or you kind of helping me, and it's like, how can I repay that? What can I do, right? Like, the your retreats didn't unfortunately didn't work out last year, but in combination with this and the retreat program, like, your setup is just so amazing, and that's something I wanted to be a part of. And when you said you were launching this, it's like, hey, this is a great time that I'm able to provide value to you, help you out, get started, and do it together, because I've always been trying to find a way we could work together, like, a
Yeah,
little bit
for
more than
sure.
we have, so I thought this was a perfect opportunity.
Yeah, I love this, and thanks for saying yes. I mean, it's very, grateful that, you wanted to be part of this and are part of it, and I love kind of the energy exchange because I really want to help get your message out and help, kind of share some of your ideas and insights that might help people. And also, share your awesomeness with as many people that are listening so that if someone's looking for something that you offer, there's a connection there. So I love the kind of way we've been building the relationship. It's not so much, well, it's not at all like, what can you do for me? It's like, hey, what can we
Right.
do together? How can we support each other? So, which has been
Absolutely.
great. So, yeah, it's so great to have you here. I can't wait to welcome you to a retreat this year at some point
Yeah.
too. I know you signed up for all of it. You get the full
I
meal
was
deal this year.
Yeah, I was super excited. That retreat just sounds so amazing, so I'm, like, super antsy about going, so I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I mean, that's all part of it. I mean, before I kind of ask you the next question, I mean, just on the retreat side, it's really been part of kind of my purpose. How can I kind of co-create more joy in the world besides kind of sharing stories and creating a platform to kind of, share some insights and ideas and tools that will hopefully help a lot of people. Also, on the retreat side, it's really creating a safe place for people to come together and really figure out what they want. And not everyone knows what they want, and for the people that do know what they want, they don't always know how to get what they want. So I just thought, if I can create an environment, I've been working on the agenda for 25 years, where people feel really comfortable through different activities inside and out, with in nature and, sometimes in the water and sometimes in the hot tub and all that good stuff, where people get clear about that and get present to that. And they're able to take a break away from everyday life and get out of the busyness and into that stillness. They can really hear themselves, really listen to themselves. And then in that clarity, can also find out what gets in their way and how do you get out of your own way and how do you kind of start moving towards, your dream, your big goal, whatever it is that you want. So anyway,
Yeah,
this has been one of my dreams for a while too, this podcast. So it's kind of everything's coming
awesome.
together. All
Yeah,
roads
very
really lead
cool.
into Joy Squared.
Amazing. Oh, I love it.
And so what is joy? I know it's kind of a big question, but I'd just love to, hear you answer. What does joy mean to you right now in your life?
I look at it as 2 ways. One, personal joy, definitely with family. Uh, as you mentioned, prior, right, I had a career in engineering, and I traveled a lot, and I missed a lot, and, that's kind of been a regret that I've had. So since moving into finances, I prioritize the family time, the work-life balance, and it's just I felt like I've made up for all that time that I kinda miss. I mean, yeah, they were little, but now they're teenagers, but that brings me the greatest joy is to be able to build my life such that I'm able to prioritize that time and not have to compromise ever. because I'm in charge of what I do, right? So it's that's the greatest thing, whether it's just even sitting down everybody for a meal, right? Like it's, I miss that stuff when I couldn't do it before. So now it's like I really value that. That's what, gets me through the day. It's like, I'm gonna be with the kids, gonna do stuff with together as a family. So that's
Um,
on the kind of the personal joy side. On the business side, being a financial advisor, yeah, there's some rough times, right? Like paying out life insurance policies or things like that. It can be rough, but it is very satisfying. And I find the greatest sense of joy is helping people get out of a precarious financial situation into something they never thought possible, right? Like I have a recent client, right? Like it's been 2 years when I met them, credit card debt, crazy, like just, struggling to stay afloat. And now they're completely out of debt. They have savings accounts. They built the down
oh,
payment for a
wow.
house. And it's like, that brings me so much joy with it, like, because they're so happy and they, accomplishing something they never thought possible is just it's so rewarding, in this job, right? Like, to be able to move somebody from a place of despair to like, "Okay, we can do this." It's
Wow.
really amazing, so,
It's
yeah,
like giving them
that's
hope. Help, give
absolutely.
them, and not just hope, but, like, actually help them realize on that and actually, go beyond hope, just changing it from hope to actually a reality and helping to change your situation for the better. That's incredible.
Right, it's not all lost. It doesn't matter how old you are, we can turn
Mm,
this around, right? So yeah, it's getting seeing the realization, people being able to dream again, right? It's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, when they felt like at the kind of maybe they're at the lowest point of their life, right? I mean, the way you just described, I'm sure that was probably, if not the lowest, one of the lowest moments, and being able to kinda help give them a path and just them you probably, the way you are and just being in your energy, I mean, they're probably like they already feel like a little bit of calmness, like, "Hey, we can get through this. It may take some time, but we're gonna kinda figure out a plan and start executing on the plan and turn things around." So just having your confidence, like, I remember a coach said to me, way back when, or she said to the whole community, she's like, if you don't believe in yourself or if you don't believe in your dream, borrow my belief in you. And it's
Mm.
almost like, that's kind of, I know you didn't say it in those words, but it's kind of like that energy, that you help to convey, which is really special.
Yeah, I'm able to I don't know how I do it or even if it's a thing, but it's a way to absorb their negative emotions and replace it with, like you said, the confidence. I have a plan. We can do this. This works. I know. I proved it, kind of thing. So it's
Mhm.
yeah,
I love that. And you also mentioned family, and I know I also come from family first background. That's my number one value, and I know that is with you as well, and family is very important to you. And you mentioned your teenagers, which is, I know it's an exciting and interesting time of their lives. And I have two teenagers, 17-year-old son and 14-year-old daughter. And my daughter asked me yesterday if I wanted to take her to the aquarium. And so just for her to ask me to do something with her, like, it doesn't happen very often.
right.
It's, just based on where she's at. And it turned into, I could have said, "No, I've got a lot of work to do," or, because I had a, bunch of things I wanted to get done before today, and then I was like, this she doesn't ask me this very often, so I'm gonna say yes and just be present and enjoy it, and because that is my number one value, so why not live it, not just say it? And so I did, and we went out, and it was so much fun, and we had so much laughter, and it was just really special to connect with her one-on-one. Then we had dinner, and we were able to, like, just have a conversation where, we talked about she has a boyfriend now, and we're talking about him and how they are the things he does that bugs her, and, how does she deal with it? And it was just we really, she kinda opened up and shared a lot of things that she hadn't, and it was just a special time. So, yeah, I don't and how old are your kids again?
Amazing. So I have four teenagers. I have a 17, a 16, a 15, and a 13-year-old.
Oh my god. That's
Yeah.
great. Oh, that's amazing.
The
Wow.
drama is real, I'll tell you.
The drama is real. It's like a bumper sticker. Oh,
Yes.
man.
Uh,
And then, just on the joy, and I know to maybe tie it back into work, and maybe this applies to personal as well, but I know you operate kind of in highly analytical spaces. So where does joy kind of live inside structure?
I guess kinda what I've answered before is completing completing projects or completing tasks, knowing that it's to the best of my ability, and then seeing the I don't wanna say consequences, but, like, the repercussions of the completion of a certain task, right? Those usually, I mean, sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time it does. And when it does, it's really cool. So I guess it's that, right? It's knowing that if I plan everything, I do everything right the first time, I won't have to do it again, or I won't have to adjust later. If I put the effort in now, then I'll see more immediate results. And that kind of goes along with that instant gratification kind of aspect. It's like, okay, I just pour my heart and soul out right now for, whatever, a day or two, knowing that the result will come that much faster than just kind of like haphazardly doing a bit here, a bit there kind of thing, right? So if I can keep it structured, then yeah, then
I love it. It's like
everything
you
works.
build it in from the beginning, but then also the structure kind of helps to, it's almost like a container for it because you have that, like that's kind of where I guess we're almost like, oh, well, I guess you want it to live inside you, but you also create a way to sustain it, through that. Hey, we've got this thing and it's amazing. And you're having your regular meetings and you've got the plan and you've got the structure. And that's what helps to kind of helps keep it alive. Yeah. Like, I guess it's like being intentional with it, which is a big part of how I think about joy. Yeah.
Right? Because like, to give you an engineering analogy, right? If you
Mhm.
design something, you don't put the effort into it up front, changes down the road are that much more expensive, right? Whereas you
Right.
you invest the time and money now, you won't have to pay for it later. So same kind of concept.
Same idea. I love it. All right. Well, share a little bit more about, what you do, because I know you said IMB Financial specializes in farms and privately owned businesses, and you're focused on succession, estate, legacy, and retirement solutions. And you shared that one of the most joyful parts, and you just shared this again, is seeing clients go from that financial stress, to freedom. So, we finally have a savings account. We can finally buy a home. We're officially debt free. Like,
Mhm.
wow. I mean, I think a lot of people, who maybe aren't in that situation can really relate. And so, like, how do you create that kind of joy in your work, like, kind of for your clients and the people you serve on an ongoing basis?
Well, excuse me. One of the big benefits to having an independent advisor, as opposed to, maybe an institutional kind of advisor, is building that personal relationship. I mean, I've become friends with a lot of my clients, right? Like we go to the movies, we do things together. I'm always available. I'm always there. No question is wrong. You don't have to re-explain your situation every time you come talk to me. I remember, right? Because I by building that, I really take it seriously, that relationship, whether it comes into a personal relationship later on, doesn't matter. It's that business relationship is key. So
Right.
it's a lot of, yeah, just letting them know that they're not alone and I'm always available. I get texts late at night or, hey, I have this stupid question. It's not, things like that they might be too
Mhm.
afraid to do, or, Google's not exactly a source of information, that good of source of information in this kind of arena. So it gives them confidence to know that, you have somebody in their corner fighting for them, doing what's in their best interest, right? So that I think that's really the key, the foundation to helping them see what's possible and bringing them that hope you're talking about, which will lead to joy
Mhm.
once we get it all sorted out, right? So
Yeah. And I think it sounds like you bring joy in from the beginning, even just kind of letting them know, whether you say it or whether it's just how you help to make them feel like you're not alone. Like, I think that's probably, and people are in the depths of despair, it's probably one of the worst feelings, is just feeling you're in it by yourself and you don't have help and you don't have support. And when they have you on your team, it's just like, I mean, I guess you didn't say, well, you almost said it this way. Like, you almost like kind of take on some of the worrying and the stress on their behalf. It's like, hey, let me take care of some of it. I That's not, you may not say it in those words, but that's kind of the feeling that I got from you, which is I think are, really special, right? Like, hey, I'm in your court. I got this. We got this. And,
yeah,
just having someone who has some tools too, right? That they don't have, and some other ideas and some options. So,
I usually, like the way I explain it to them is like, I want to be your partner in this. I want to
yeah.
get you to the point where you can make all the decisions, and I'm here as like a sounding board, a second opinion, that kind of thing. I don't want to sit here and go, okay, step by step, do this, do this, do that. No, I want you to be empowered by this stuff and be able to take control. And then I'm kind of there as your, your subject matter expert along this financial
Mm.
journey, right? As opposed to being, your leader dragging you along with me. It's no, I want to push you, and as you walk through your journey, I'm there beside you to help you anytime you need, right? So yeah,
Yeah, it's like I hear it as, you really lift them up. You're bringing your clients up, right? And I think that's a special quality. And you're calling them up. I think I love that expression. I kind of started thinking about it a few years ago and calling someone up versus calling them out.
mm,
Calling out is like it's very judgy, right? Whereas calling someone up is like you know what they want and you believe in them and you believe in their dream or their goal and you're there to help them. And maybe they're not doing something that's consistent with that. So you're just kind of reminding them of who they are and what they want. And you're calling them up, not making them feel worse, like
right,
you're
right.
making them feel better. Yeah. Which I love.
I mean that you still have just difficult decisions to make, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. Okay, we're doing this. It's really awesome, but we need to make a decision here, guys. Like
Hmm.
I know they both suck, but pick one. That kind of
Yeah.
thing,
Which
right?
sucks less. Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Right. I mean, at least you've got all the options and you've looked at all angles. Yeah. Which makes it a little easier. And what does it feel like to you when you kind of, you get to that point where you've kind of achieved that, you've helped them achieve their goal, one of their goals, like whether it's debt free or they have a savings account or they have enough to buy, a house, like all those are amazing. And you mentioned, all of those. What does it actually feel like for you?
I For me, I don't know how to explain it, right? It's just this moment of elation. It's like I'm so happy for them that, some of the times that I'm seem to be more happy than they are, right? Like it's because I know how bad it was. Maybe sometimes, they don't realize how bad it actually was. And to get them to a point where like, guys, we dodged a bullet here. Like it was a good, timing, everything worked out. We're good. So it's I don't know. I don't know how to say that. Like, it's just you're just so happy for somebody else to be able to attain something that and it could come back to, my previous, early on in my career. It's like, I wish I had somebody like that too.
Yeah,
Could have
right.
guided
Hmm.
me early on because I would be so much farther ahead now than I was before. So by providing that desire that I had or that wish that had of wanting this before, instilling that like into them as well is really I don't know, for it just makes me super happy, whether they're not or, they might not be at that point, it's just I'm just so glad that they were able to turn their lives around and be find, the desire to dream again financially, right? Like,
Hmm.
I'll never buy a house, I'm gonna be stuck renting for the rest of my life. Well, that's not true, right? And then,
Right.
"Oh, we can get a house. Oh, we can look at this house at this, we can move here, and I want a backyard," and, like the amount of creativity that comes out at that point in time is
Mm.
huge, and I love seeing it, right? So and they usually involve me too, right? Like, "What do you think? Is this a good place?" Or like, so it's fun
Yeah.
to get integrated with them in that kind of stuff as well.
That's very cool. It kind of reminds me of when you kind of said sometimes you feel like you're more excited than they are. I remember kind of, quite a few years ago, kind of early in my career, when I'd be working with clients and teams. And I remember coming back and telling the team, I was like, I think I'm more excited about their business than they are. And I would never say that out loud to them. It wasn't so much a judgment. Well, I don't, maybe it was initially, maybe it was, but I didn't ever say anything negative to them because what I realized was they're living in it. Like, and again, maybe a lot of it is stressful and they're not sure. I'm coming in from kind of a, marketing, branding, advertising, culture, team communication. Like there's lots of different layers in there. And I just realized that, they're living it day to day and I'm coming in and they're kind of looking to me to kind of bring them up, just like, to you, like, cause I'm excited. I'm truly excited because it's new for me. It's not new for them. And so I think that's another way to kind of help lift people up and bring people up is joy's contagious. It's like even just being excited about a new relationship, being excited about helping them, being excited about seeing them access kind of, I guess, different levels of joy, throughout the relationship as you hit maybe some different milestones is really special. So it's a
Yeah,
super, I
yeah.
think it's a bit of a superpower, right? I think the more we can kind of lift people up, it is contagious. So
Yeah, and
we got to
seeing
keep
like
doing that.
that residual hesitation and things like that, as that slowly disappears,
Mm.
it's great too, right? Because they believe, but they're not sure. So once they get that full faith in themselves to be able to do this, oh yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, then they're on fire, right? Then
Yeah,
anything's possible. Anything's possible.
for sure. Yeah, great.
And what about what tends to block joy for you, kind of personally and professionally? What gets in the way of it?
Uh, I guess it's all the red tape regulations that I have to go through. I mean, I understand, finances is very, you know, uh, picky situation in certain aspects with the government. So a lot of the stuff that they've implemented benefits the consumer, but then it blocks me, and it's very frustrating. Like we say this all the time. I love this industry, but I hate this industry. So I love it for the clients and being able to help them, but dealing with regulators, dealing with other companies and things like that, it's painful sometimes. So
Hmm.
that kind it doesn't block my joy such that I'm gonna give it up, but it's
Yeah,
it's
right.
it's enough of a like, "Oh, come on, I know what I need to do and I can see the
Mm.
results. It's just let me do what I need to do," kind of thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's that. It's just that or things just get drawn out so much, and I've had a few times where I've had to go to war with the provider because maybe they wouldn't pay out a policy or they wouldn't do something for the client. So
Mm.
it's just you know I always say this. It's like you're in this business. Why do you not want to do business? That's what I don't understand with
Right.
these companies, right? It's like this
Right.
is what you do. Why don't you want to do it? But they do what they do. They have their internal rules and regulations as well. But it's the amount of red tape that really kind of slows my momentum a lot of the time when it comes to the joy. So,
Yeah.
but it's
I
a
got it.
season within a task. That's it.
Right. That's a cool way to look at it. Yeah, you kind of know you are going to get on the other side of it.
Oh
And
yeah,
I think a lot of people can relate, like, even if they're not in this industry, sometimes there is that, it's like the paperwork, whatever that might be, or the admin or the logistics that can drag you down. And so I guess when that shows up and it's going to show up in some form or another, whether it's dragged out or whether it's not, like the red tape and the paperwork, like, how do you kind of move through it? Like, how do you kind of remove it or move through those kind of blocks or those things that might slow you down or drag you down? I know you said, it's a season, in the overall, but yeah, what else do you kind of tell yourself or what do you do to move through it?
well, that's where I try to put more. I've put systems and like procedures and protocols in place in the business to kind of what do you call that? Automate it. So it's like if I again put the effort in up front, I don't have to deal with this kind of stuff later, right? So it's double, triple checking things, making sure that all that extra stuff gets done up front, so I don't have to come back and do it again. So it's just making sure because it's when you do paperwork, whether it's for $1 million piece of business or a $50 piece, it's the same paperwork, right? So it's if I can get the system down where I don't have to think, I can just, fill this in, and away we go, then it allows me to work through that a little bit easier without getting hung up on frustration.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're talking about like I love the idea of automating that so you're not spending as much time, so it's not as big of a deal. And it made me think of like how can we automate joy? And I guess it's kind of like the thing that I've been really focused on is really looking at joy as not just a reward or an outcome. Like, hey, once we get to this, once we get to debt free, once we get to a savings account, then we can be joyful. But it's really about being intentional with joy, like leading with joy, working with joy, living with joy, and having that at the forefront, and not just as a reward or result. And I think, it's kind of like automating it, even though it's like, how can we automate joy? How can we make it easier to kind of access, cultivate, and share? Because I think like the more we focus on that ourselves, the more we share it. Like when I think about our conversations that we've had, it's like you're just coming in happy. Like you're coming in, ready to serve, ready to connect. You're interested in how my life's going and work's going, and you ask a lot of questions, which is amazing. And yeah, how can we create more of that? I guess with ourselves and with each other. Would any ideas kind of on not how to automate it, but just how to do more of it? You know, how to create more joy, cultivate more joy with ourselves.
I tell my kids this all the time. It takes so much more energy to be grumpy and, upset than it does just to be happy, just to let things go. So it's a
Mhm.
lot of, choosing your battles and things like that as well, right? Like, um, yeah, I just so that in addition with more family time, like you had mentioned,
Yeah.
I think that's that's why I do what I do. One for the like I said, the joy side on the business with the clients, but then being able to have that time with the family too, right? So it's just knowing that I have to do this for 2 reasons. One, I wanna see success on the clients, but the other one is I want more time with my family. So it's
Mhm.
the frustrations don't seem as big when you look at it from that lens, right? Like I'm
I
helping
love that.
somebody and then
Yeah.
I'm helping myself. Like it's crazy. Like, when you go to school,
Yeah.
nobody tells you, like, you're gonna be helping people. You're gonna be like, I don't know, when I went to school, they told you to be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer, right? Which
Right.
I picked engineer. So it's like, but it's all like, oh, you get to do this. You work with technology. But
Mhm.
this business, it's like your job is to help people. Like, how cool is that, right? You're able to take care of your family by helping others. Like it's can't get any better than that for a job, I think, anyways, right? Like
Mm.
it's just so much
I
fun.
love that. I love that, and I can totally relate as and I mentioned this before, like, yesterday, it was kind of a tough day, I was just kinda struggling with the workload. I was like, "Oh, I've had all the whole long weekend. I thought I'd get way more done, and I'm already feeling stressed." And then there was a conversation I needed to have that I was stressing about that I had it, and it was really easy,
Mm,
and it was just I was like, "Oh, wow, okay." I stressed about it, way more than I needed to as opposed to just, having it and saying, "Hey, here's the situation, and there's gonna be a delay in something, and I'm really sorry, and this is kinda what I'm thinking." It's like, "Okay, that's fine." It was just like, "What?" And anyway, and so I had that conversation, so I felt a little lighter, and then feeling better, but still feeling stressed about all the things on my list that I, kinda promised myself I get done, and then my daughter said she sent me a text, she's upstairs. It's the initial part of communication as a teenager, right? Get the text, and
right.
then hopefully it leads to a conversation, not just texting, but she texts me and is like, "I wanna go to the aquarium." And then I was like, "Ah," and then immediately I'm like, "Oh my god, I've screwed it up." Like, I've effed it up because I didn't do enough work to kind of earn me taking her to the aquarium and having this
Mm,
special family time. I've blown it. In my head, I was like then I started stressing, then I was like, "God, what's more important?" Like, she doesn't ask me to do things very often, as I mentioned, right?
mm,
And, so I was like, "Is it what's more important? Do I spend that time with her, the quality time for a few hours, or that I get these 2 things off my list?" And I just thought about it. It didn't take me very long to think about it, just kinda checked in with myself, and I said, way more important that I take her to the aquarium, and it was so fun, and I couldn't believe how relaxed I was, Ian, like, because I was just totally present and totally grateful and totally joyful. Like, I was just so happy to be with my daughter. Or I could have been stewing at home, even working on this stuff, still stressing about the other list of things that, I still had to do. And meanwhile, it was just like it was a nice break. And it came back and I just felt way more grounded and lighter and
mm,
joyful. And that spreads. Like, I come back and I'm smiling and, it's hard for my wife not to smile, when I'm so happy
right,
and my
right.
son too, and just kind of sharing that and sharing some of the things we talked about and did. So yeah, I definitely, family is a big part of it for me too. So love that.
Yeah, that's cool. And then I guess what motivates me too is like
Mm,
in this industry, I can be around death quite a bit, and I can
mhm,
see the repercussions of losing somebody, and then it makes you question, not question, but really understand and grasp the concept of your own mortality. It's like I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Like
mm, yeah.
if she's like in your case, if she's asking me to do something, like let's do it
Mm,
because
yeah.
I might not get an opportunity again, right? So it that reminder's always there as much as it sucks. It's reality, right?
Yeah.
So that reminder helps me as well to be like, okay, I don't have an. It's not that I don't have an option. It's like I can't
Yeah.
pass up this opportunity,
Yeah.
kind of thing, right? So that
You don't
helps
want to, and
motivate me.
you're so clear on your values and what's important to you that you make it a priority when it shows
Yeah,
up. And
yeah.
it was a good reminder to me too that, just to do a better job of kind of managing my workload and managing my stress so that
Mm.
I'm even more available. Because again, I had that like
Yeah,
5
yeah.
minutes of like, oh my God, I've blown it. Like I'm not gonna be able to take her out. I got too much on my plate, and just to avoid that, even though it was short lived. It was another good reminder how to kind of create more joy, just being really intentional and what are those key priorities, not the 100 other things that maybe don't matter as much, but what are those key top priorities that I need that will move my life, my business forward, help make more of a difference, impact more people, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Cool.
I love it. So, can you share a moment in your life or career when you experienced undeniable kind of just full body joy? There's
Uh,
something that comes to mind that you can share?
Usually, I would say, the birth of each of my children, definitely, because I know when I grew up, I didn't think I would have kids, right? I wanted kids, but I didn't think I was going to because of the career path and all that kind of stuff. But that for me was like the greatest thing. Like it's a miracle on itself. And then to be there, to be able to be a part of it is it's crazy. Especially the first one, because it's like I'm holding this human. It's like this can't be real. This is like you're in that euphoria state where it doesn't things don't seem real anyways. That's what I felt. But yeah, it is crazy.
That's amazing. And it is a miracle. I think just being present to how many miracles show up. Like, when you really look at it, like the fact that you and I are chatting right now, on a podcast that that I'm launching, it's like that I've been thinking about for a long time. And just, everything you've done in your career, everything I've done in my career, and the fact that we kind of met at a place where I was presenting, like, there's just like millions and millions of things that had to happen, like me
Mhm.
growing up in Michigan and then moving to Toronto and
Yeah.
just, all those things, you and your career path and how that evolved. And the fact that we're talking now is a miracle. And I think when we bring that kind of miracle energy, just as a reminder that when we're speaking with someone, it really is kind of a miracle that they're right in front of us. Like, whether
Mm.
it's at a networking event or a meeting or social gathering. And, I've kind of told people before, like, if they're going to a networking meeting, just use this as an example. Um, you can be intentional in your joy when you're going to a meeting. And let's just say it's a networking meeting. And, you can look at it like, oh, I don't really know anyone. I don't know if these are my people. And you can start to kind of come up with excuses. I don't really know my elevator pitch. I mean, these are all things that I've gone through, right? I'm sharing from
Okay. Yeah.
personal experience, but I'm making this up. Or I could look at it like I try to do now, which is just like, wow, someone invited me to this event. So they want me there. They kind of want my energy there. They think that, I'd be a good fit for this group. And even though I don't know anyone there, wow, what an amazing opportunity to kind of connect with people, listen to what they do, where they're at in their life, their career, whatever we share, and to share kind of my story as well. And just to be present to them. I remember I would go to kind of meetings and think, like, "Oh, like, maybe I should be talking to that person, or that looks like someone that's more my people," and it would take me out of the moment of who I was connecting with then. So now when I'm connecting with someone, I'm just like, they're the most important person in the room, and I do my best to just give them all my energy in that moment because maybe I need to hear something they're gonna say, maybe they need to hear something I'm gonna say, maybe they know someone who'd be a good connection for me, maybe I know someone that could be a good kind of who knows? There could be a million different ways. So I think it's just being intentional, with that and not waiting to, oh, well, if the people are cool or if they're all potential clients or if they can refer me, or if the food's good or if the booze is free or whatever, that is then I'll be joyful, right? Let's take
Right.
responsibility for our joy. I think it's a different way to look at it. So it's part of kind of why I'm doing this.
Yeah, yeah. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe like things happen for a reason, right? So yeah, absolutely. There's a reason you went to that meeting. Whether you uncover it at the meeting or, weeks down the road, there was a reason for you to be there. So yeah, absolutely.
And one of the biggest ones for me, honestly, like was coming out of that was meeting you, like that was one of the big reasons. Sure, I get a chance to share, my message with, I don't know how many people were there, 60 or whatever. And there's some great people there. And I listened to some other great speakers, it was a great afternoon. But like, when I look at, now, like, you're someone that I've kept in touch with since then, and we'll continue to do so. And now we're kind of integrated into each other's lives, whether you we're going to the movies. I heard you say that you take your clients here. No, no, I wanted to go to the movies. I
Yeah.
ask my kids to do that all the
Uh,
time. Let's go to the movies. No one's going to the
mm,
movies these days. So,
oh man. Yeah, yeah,
oh
definitely.
man,
We'll totally do that.
that'd be awesome. Hey, and before we wrap up, wondering if you'd be up for a little two truths and a lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because you shared that, with me, so I thought I would just kinda say it out loud, and then you can share which one is is
Okay,
the lie.
sure.
Okay, so number 1, you hold a 4th degree black belt in, I can't even pronounce it,
Kenjute.
Ju
Yeah.
Kenjute martial arts. That's 1. You can deadlift and squat 400 pounds, number 2, and number 3, you have a master's in electrical engineering. So if we were live, I'd say, "Hey, any guesses from our audience? Please put your comment in the chat, and we'll get back to you." But it won't be live. So why don't you tell us which one is not true?
It would be the last one. So I have a master's in mechanical, not electrical engineering.
Wow. So between
Yeah.
the martial arts and the deadlifting, I mean, it's basically like if joy ever breaks, you can fix it, or
Well, actually, that's a source of joy for me because, like, in
yeah.
engineering, when I was working in that career, I didn't work out, didn't take care of myself, all that kind of good stuff, right? When I
Mm,
moved to this job where I was able to create my own schedule, that health aspect came in. One, because I had hurt, like, thrown my back out and I couldn't move for days, and I was overweight, and it's like, I want to be here for my kids, be able to do things with them, not just sit on my couch and talk to them, right? So
mhm.
I got into, the dieting properly, the working out, and martial arts was a part of that. So yeah, it brings me joy to do that. It's really weird, like, because I have a trainer, right? Like, I do my workouts consistently, no problem every time because I feel better after I do it. If I eat vegetables instead of meat, that doesn't make me feel better. So I have a really problem with the nutrition side,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it does help me sleep better and things like that. So the joy comes later. It's just
Mhm.
that instant gratification. But anyways, that's beyond
No, I
beside the
love
point.
I love that, and also the martial arts, it's almost like you have this self-defense in case there's something that blocks joy, or there's someone that's, maybe trying to bring you down, or could,
And it
you've got that self-defense mentally, that, and the discipline, it takes a lot of discipline to do it, to get to that
right, right.
point where
And
you're,
it so I'm
yeah,
sorry,
4th
didn't mean to
degree.
cut
No,
you
no,
off.
it's just like where you have that kinda degree in black belt. Yeah, that's a lot of discipline. Amazing.
Yeah, and it really builds that self-confidence. Like at our
Mhm.
dojo, there's a lot of kids who come in with let's say, I don't wanna say disabilities, but, things like autism or Asperger's or,
Okay.
inability to really do school well because of concentration or whatever. And this kind of, getting into this discipline, learning the stuff because it's a physical and a mental workout too, right? When you
Mhm.
do it, you're able to see them, like, grow and, overcome those kind of things. It's just amazing to see
Oh, I love
these
that.
little guys do all these crazy things that, I'm not flexible enough to do or whatever, and to see them
Uh,
succeed so much and to know or sorry, not to know, but, like, to see that within themselves that they are capable of something because, like, my little guy at school, he struggles with, the AD something, ADD or
ADHD, or
I don't know if
is
the
it?
H is part of this. Anyways,
Okay.
he kinda
ADD, or yeah, I
struggles
know
that
there's
way. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
He kinda struggles with that, so, math is a frustration, every homework is he's upset, he doesn't wanna do this, but at karate, man, like, when he's locked in, so it's crazy to see that he does have that ability, and it's now we're
Mhm.
working on translating that to school, so
Well,
it
it's
gives me great
amazing.
joy to teach kids too, right? To see them overcome these things that they never thought they could do, and see the
Yeah.
parents even, right? Like, "Wow, he's changed so much." Yeah, this is
It
where
is, it's
it's
contagious, it
yeah,
really is, like, you see something like that and you're part, especially when you're part of it too. Whether you're part of it or whether you're witnessing it or both, right? It really is special, and then the ripple effect is, and they've done studies, those are on the joy ripple effect, like, when you're kind of feeling the joy and then you're talking to someone else, and they say there's like 3 degrees in the ripple, and they've got, all the different, research and statistics. So the bottom line is, it's like there's no downside to being joyful in your life and to sharing it,
yeah,
with other people,
absolutely,
so and then,
absolutely.
And then what about, for those listening kinda to the conversation, what do you hope they feel after listening to this?
There's a lot of things I suppose, but like, for one, for me, like, if you're in a job you don't like or you can change. It changes everything about you. It's not waiting on somebody else to do it. And nobody else is gonna be responsible for your joy in life. You have to kind of do that. So if you're stuck in a job that you don't like or you are struggling with that, there are solutions, but you need to take the initiative to do that. Joy's not just gonna come find you. I mean, sometimes it does, but for the vast majority of times, you need to want it so bad that you're willing to make a change or take a leap of faith, right? So, um, I found that the biggest thing in my life because I despise my engineering career at the later years, and I got there was a giant layoff, and I got caught up in that because being frustrated, I not so silent on certain things. So I was kind of identified as maybe a problem child. Um, so when I got laid off, it was like I was devastated. How am I going to take care of my kids? This and that. But like a year later, I've never been this happy. Like this
Mhm.
career, this work life balance is just absolutely amazing. So it was a
Mm.
good thing at the end of the day, right? So and it was a
Blessing
step
in
that I
disguise, right? It didn't really you
exactly.
didn't feel like it at the time, I'm sure, when you're going through that, but you realize after as you're coming out of it now, especially now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a step I would have never had the courage to take myself. So it was done for me, I guess you could say, right? But now that I've experienced that, that fear is gone. So I need to do something. Like getting rid of that fear frees you. Like I'm free to really experience, like you said, the joy and everything because I'm in charge of finding it. And I'm not afraid to do something just because it's not culturally or society accepted, like you need a good job, you gotta work. No, I'll do what I want, where I find my joy. And if I don't want to be rich, if I just want to be happy, right? So like it's a huge mindset change. So yeah.
I love that. No, it's so good. Well, hey, before we kinda say goodbye for now, like, where can people connect with you to kind of experience your grounded, thoughtful energy? I'm gonna include it obviously in the post and put all that, but just to share it now, I'd love to hear it.
Usually I'm pretty active on like LinkedIn or Facebook. My website's under construction. Otherwise I would, would tell you to go see the website. But, yeah, just my name in LinkedIn or Facebook. And yeah, I'd
Awesome.
love to chat with people anytime,
And I'll put your
any question.
contact information. Yeah, no,
Appreciate that.
it's been amazing. So, I mean, for me, one of the many things I admire about you is, you kind of prove something really powerful. The joy doesn't have to be loud, right? It's just sometimes it's disciplined and sometimes it's structure and sometimes just a quiet confidence of, knowing you built something, that will last and, in helping other people see something that maybe they haven't, been able to see and giving people hope and a path. And, I think that just, who you are and the way that you approach your life, your family and your clients is really special. Like I said it early on, but you're in this for the long term. You're playing the long game. It's not about the quick wins, not about the immediate gratification. You've proven that over and over again with your very disciplined, thoughtful approach. So I just want to thank you again, Ian, for being a founding sponsor, for saying yes, to Joy Squared, for not just being on the podcast today, but, for being a bigger part of it. So really means a lot to me. And I want to thank you for being the kind of leader that, and kind of father and husband that just strengthens the people around you. You really do bring people up. So
Well, I appreciate, you inviting me to this opportunity, Greg, right? Like I mentioned before, I was looking for ways that we can collaborate a little bit greater. I thought this was the greatest thing. And like to be able to spread joy, like in society today, everything, news doesn't matter. It's all negative, right? So to have positive things that people can tap into, whether it's, working in the industry that I work with, or just, hearing about other people's successes is just, it's huge. It's crazy how big it can be because of all the negativity that's around people these days, right? So this is so awesome. So can't wait for this to grow and just to reach so many people and just to see it, you know, make a real tangible difference with people, right?
The power of joy. I mean,
Awesome.
that's why I kind of came up with JOY². It's all about the power of joy, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
thank
amazing.
you. And yeah, and thanks. Yeah, no, thanks for sharing all that. I really appreciate it. And yeah, to those listening in, thanks for your time. Thanks for your energy. Hope you heard a few things in our conversation that will help you, live, work, and lead with more joy intentionally. And, as we've talked about, and I think as we all know, joy is contagious. So please cultivate it and share it. So cheers. Thanks for spending this time with us on JOY², where joy multiplies and everything gets better. Remember, joy isn't just something you feel, it's something you create and it's something you pass on. If this conversation sparks something in you, share it because joy is contagious. What we're building here is bigger than a podcast. It's a reminder and a movement that how we live, work, and lead truly matters. Until next time, live with joy, lead with purpose, and never forget to have fun. Keep choosing joy squared. And if you're enjoying the journey, we'd be grateful if you subscribe, like, and share JOY² so the ripple keeps spreading.